Boot us up live.
Yeah, it's just very live now.
Right, the meeting has now been broadcast. Well, welcome everybody. It's good to see you all.
Beckham has got.
Oh, hang on. Oh, I can't believe
No, that's all right. It's just a notice.
got my,
I was going to bring my remote keyboard down to see
my
what
glasses on to read it close up, not far away.
Something to do with perspective.
It is all to do with perspective, absolutely. Thank you, Meg, for that perspective. Okay, so we are gathered here today for the Communication Search Group. Good to see everybody. And we do have everybody, obviously, we understanding apologies from Councillor Harknett, don't we? Okay, right, we'll move on then to item 2, declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest? I'm imagining not, because we don't tend to have that much in this meeting, but you never know. Right, meeting notes. I haven't really looked at them cursorily. I tend to rely totally upon Louise to get things right. Or Bethany, which one writes it. Bethany, thank you, Bethany. I just signed them. But were there any changes that you wanted to make, or anything that didn't happen that you thought should have happened? Okay, great. Good. Moving on then. Thank you for that, Bethany, for the notes. Right, the current newsletter. So we go into looking at the newsletter articles.
So John, and that's the handout that I've given us. Emma has just confirmed to me today it's just been finalised, so they're all the pictures. So even though we gave 3,
Okay.
we thought it'd be better to give you all of them just in case you wanted to see them.
Okay, so you didn't use my one of the hollyhock arrangement.
It's Emma's discretion. I liked it, John.
Okay. It's fine. It's really fine. Okay, so I think we should tend to choose the wintry one. I'm quite fancying the snowy one, I have to say.
But do Winter Wonderland?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. I really like the one with the autumn leaves as well. That might be better for next autumn.
Well, I think so. I think
And
so.
Winter Wonderland, I think, is an exception. I think it's an amazing photo, actually.
I think it is great.
And
So
that is the bottom of Walton Road.
it is
isn't
the bottom of the road. Yeah, as you come out of the pub, you sort of see them.
Took me a little while to work out where it was.
Yeah, me too.
I
Me
got
too.
there in the end.
Eventually, it's a road over.
I never did work out where it was.
Uh,
I love that.
So are we agreed that that one should be the colour? Yeah, okay, it obviously has to be a slice of it somehow, but okay, good. Right, moving on then to the message from you.
Yeah. Can I just say that paragraph 4 needs to be deleted because they're not coming. And can I just say, hanging on that really, I find it very difficult. I don't know how you found it. When you're writing a message about things that haven't happened yet, and it feels as though I'm lying, actually, and I don't like it at all. And I did notice, as I look back at previous ones that previous mayors have written, and I think Mark said, I'm writing this in September, and
Yeah,
he
you can
didn't do that. And I really don't like saying this. I mean, the previous one I said about how wonderful the celebrate Buckingham Day was before it had happened. And I really
Well, you can do what Mark did.
Yeah,
I think people would understand that.
yeah,
I mean, I think there is an issue about when this is going to come out because
yeah,
I mean we've got to get it out before the 27th of November for sure, because it talks about the come along to the Christmas lights for sure. So we're on a tight deadline with this one.
and the previous one talked about was too late because we've only just received that, and it talked about things that have already happened,
Yeah.
and it was too late for that. So I think there's a general issue about the syncing it with
There is,
future.
for every edition, there is an overlap. It's
Mm.
partly because we do a lot. So
Mm.
there's no perfect time where you've got a nice break that you can have it come out in.
Mm.
There's always an event that gets caught in the overlap.
Mm.
So normally what we do is we put them in the future events on the basis that if you get it after it's not the end of the world. But we try and also include those things in the previous one if we can. But it's probably worth double checking that we are getting things in the previous one to make sure that people have advance notice for future events. Yeah.
I can see it is tricky.
It is tricky, but getting back to your piece, Margaret, because you've got a big piece there about the Lace Hill Health Centre. And of course, I should imagine some of that is back on the into debate as well, given that the planning applications for the two sites they currently own both run out, which must, I'm guessing, change their plans, because presumably they want to sell that with planning a certain degree, because they'll get more money for it.
I think I put it in because it was suggested that I put something in about health provision. At the previous meeting, you know, they'd say what kind of things to include. But I don't think have I put anything in that wouldn't be accurate then?
Yes, I think so. I don't think that statement, I'm sure we're all looking forward to the current plans for a new health centre on Lace Hill, reaching fruition.
You don't think that's right?
Well, I suppose it is right, isn't it, actually? We are all looking forward to plans.
Or maybe we should leave out the Lace Hill bit and put a new.
Being progressed or, you know,
Yeah, maybe not.
taking it forward.
Okay.
Yeah, the contentious issue, as we all know, is about provision within the town centre.
Yeah.
And the idea that there was going to be some sort of satellite service based around the library or possibly, of course, in the hospital, which may or may not have space, I don't know. And I think that's the nub of the issue as to why not everybody in the town would be celebrating a move up to Lace Hill.
No,
If
we
it
would all
meant-
like a new health centre with better provisions,
I guess
but it is too.
we would. I mean, who doesn't like new buildings, as it were? But equally, what I want is good healthcare. And good accessible healthcare that helps people get better.
I'll have another look at that.
You can have my kind of bit, worms if you like.
But I like the heroes connection, you know, between the Remnant Service and the Health Service. I thought that was a nice segue.
Which paragraph were you leaving out, did you say? Because they.
Paragraph 4 about Neukirchen flu visit,
Oh, okay.
that's not happening.
Alright.
Paul is going to send out an email to all councillors, but it was supposed to be not this weekend, the one after. And one of the key people has a family funeral and they
Right.
decided to pull the plug on it. So that's
Okay, that's a shame.
it is
That's a
shame.
shame. Okay, all right. Well, hopefully they'll be able to soon at some point. Okay, so moving on then, the next item was move on to Buckingham, which that's an article to be written. That sounds good. The response, community flood response plan, article to be written. Water pollution, this is an article that we agreed to put in, isn't it?
Yes, with some amendments that you
Okay.
requested.
We've taken out a bit about the not washing your car in your drive.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. But I think being aware, I'm guessing that in that link, there probably is some stuff around what you should do, not do. I don't think you should wash your car anyway, but that's a discussion. Okay, are we okay with that article? Yeah, okay with the article so far. Neighbourhood plan survey, again, I don't know where we got to with that. We haven't really signed off on that. Will we be able to sign off on it?
Neighbourhood plan survey, we're not expecting to be able to write an article entitled this.
That's
I think
right.
those plans have changed again. So there was a suggestion that we fill this space with something about the solar panels at Lace Hill, because they've just been installed.
Oh, they've been installed.
I just walked up to see them, and taken a photograph.
Yeah.
Patience, took me 10 years. That's one of my first acts as a town councillor.
When was the one here likely to?
Well, on this building, we didn't have Lace Hill 10 years ago, of course.
When was we likely to get these, or isn't
I
it?
don't know
No.
what the whole that is, really. Do you know what the whole that is, Martin? You're on the management board.
Yeah, nothing with us, it's just,
Is it?
it's not our roof.
Oh, okay. I'll talk to the town clerk then. Ask him. Let's get it done then. If we can get the ones in Lace Hill, then there's no reason why we shouldn't get these done as well. There's no other reason why they should be delayed, as far as you know.
Not as far as I know.
Okay, good.
I think was there a tariff change or something was,
Oh, we've got through all of that.
something
Tariffs
tariff
changed about 3 times since we started this plan.
Yeah,
You know.
and grants and stuff, there was bits and bobs at that particular time going on.
Yeah.
But
Of course, we'll-
that's outside of the community centres.
Well, except the community will get the benefit and will have paid for the improvement. In terms of electricity supply, but there you go. I'm thinking of having an automatic device put on my system whereby when it's sunny and I charge my batteries, it'll automatically heat up the immersion heater to save using gas. Is my current plan. I don't know how much that will cost. Okay, all right, so we'll go for solar panels then on Lace Hill. And maybe a bit about the economics of that as well. Because one of the reasons for promoting solar panels was to encourage people in the town to do the same. Obviously, notwithstanding that many people don't own their roofs, as we've just been discussing. But also people haven't got the cash to do it. But, you know, all I know that I paid very little for my electricity, if anything at all, the last year and a half. Because of solar
So you
panels.
said, yeah.
Okay, so past events then. How come the Lace Hill Snake is up here?
Well,
That was
that's
some
what I
while ago.
wondered.
So it was partially in a previous one, but there was a request that we included.
Right.
Again, could you say why?
Because there was miscommunication about other things, so we said we would include it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. There's no harm in that because I just walked past it a few minutes ago and it's still looking brilliant. The Otter Trail.
Just on that one, would we put in bold Bill Bates and Paragon as kind donations to make them stand out a bit in that?
Yeah.
In that article,
Yeah, why not?
you know, because it's a nice thing for us, really.
Yeah, why not?
And we don't take donations and bits and bobs, do we? So it's
No.
nice to give
Mm.
a bit of thanks when.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, the Otter Trail, I felt it needs to say that they have been auctioned off. Past
One
tense.
They will still be being auctioned off by the time this comes out.
And who,
Oh,
got,
really?
who got the first one then, John?
I did.
Well done.
Yes, I won the first one. Margot was very, very fed up.
Margot.
Yes, she put in a bid as well.
All right.
I know she did.
Well, I think I'm not sure which one I put in a bid on actually. I got very confused by the process. Anything online tripped me up.
It's
Yes.
installed in the garden now, is it?
It is, yes.
Mm.
Yes, we looked at various positions and I think we found a good position for it.
Excellent.
And they'll last in the garden, will they?
Yeah, Sam was suggesting give it another clear varnish once a year, just to kind of make sure it sort of stays reasonably intact, as it were. Yeah. So yeah, obviously I had a hand in the production of it. So I was up there helping with the young people as they were doing it. So it's nice to look forward to that.
Well done, you.
Right, okay, so any other points about I just noticed that the 27th is a real deadline because we're saying the Christmas lights are happening on that date. These are past ones I'm looking at, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Any more about past events? Sorry, Louise.
Charter Fair line 1 is Charter. No, past Fair. No, I've got Appendix D. Is this still?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, it will have happened by the time this comes out.
Oh, grief, where am I? Oh, the Charter Fair, yeah, the Charter Fair paragraph line 1. It says nice. It was nice, and I didn't. Great, fantastic to welcome it back. Nice just doesn't seem quite the right word.
I think I would suggest wonderful. The fair is full of wonders, isn't it?
Okay, wonderful.
They call it the Mop Fair for some reason. Does anybody know why?
Has it changed the owners?
I don't know.
No, it's the same people.
Really?
But on all the signs it says the Mop Fair. I've never heard that expression before.
No.
Well, the whole history of it, isn't it, is that you have the hiring and the firing fair.
Oh,
Sorry, I don't know what you're talking
Don't know
about.
this? Okay. So
Maybe
there's
we'll
two
expand
fairs.
this few paragraphs.
The first fair is the one that all the young people would go to in order to go and get a job. So there'd be lots of people looking to take on staff, and people would sometimes wander around with things that said what trade they did. So you might see people wandering around holding a mop.
Oh,
okay.
Which is where mop fair comes from. So in other places they do call it a mop fair. It does normally get called the Charter Fair here.
yeah.
So I'm not sure why it says mop fair on the
All right.
Do you
But
get
yeah,
that
that's
much?
why it's.
So did it used to stay in
It's a
town?
medical history act, Martin.
It used to stay in town the whole week.
No, they still come for one day and then they come back again a week later, and then that would be the firing one. So if you've gone off with your new employer for the week and you don't like it, or they aren't getting on with you, you can just swap around and try and find someone else to get a job with.
I've learned something new today.
Thank you.
I have got a couple of other things, I'm sorry, being me.
Go on.
Halloween's one. I thought that last line, there was spectacular fun and games and prizes for the best dressed. So people who weren't best dressed didn't have fun and games. So I think you need to put fun, comma, fun and games, comma, plus prizes for the best dressed. Because otherwise it doesn't read right to me.
Right. Okay.
And then Remembrance Day, I think you need a capital P in parade as you've got it in bold. You either want them all lowercase or uppercase, I think. Do you agree? Remembrance Day parade? John's not sure about that.
Well, parade shouldn't have a capital according to our style sheet.
Okay, it's just because it's a heading, sort
But
of,
maybe
because it's
now-
in bold.
Yeah, I still don't think it should have a.
Okay, okay.
Well, otherwise, why does bonfire and fireworks have capital B's and F's in?
Because that's the same like Remembrance Day. It's a title.
Okay.
And the parade bit isn't, no. Or maybe you could take the parade out of bold then.
Well,
Yeah, okay.
Just, yeah, because it doesn't look right because it's in bold, I think that's the thing. And then War Memorial, we've got a capital W. No, we've got a lowercase w and a capital M. Now they either need to be both lowercase or both uppercase. I don't really mind which, I think,
I think both are the case.
both uppercase. Okay.
before we move off the Remembrance Parade, then, or have you finished there?
Sorry,
Have you finished on the Remembrance Parade?
Yeah.
Right. On the Remembrance Parade, would people take offence because it just says the church? Because,
The parish church.
yes, there are.
Oh, I
other
see what you mean.
churches.
Yes, okay. Yes, good point.
The other
So
thing,
would parish church sort of knock it on the head then? Is that a good enough title for it, or?
Are the other
St.
churches
Peter's-
not parish churches?
I don't
as well?
know, I'm not into that. Is St. Peter and St. Paul's, or?
I think maybe it's St. Peter's and
I
St.
think they
Paul's
do
Church.
call it Buckingham Parish Church now rather than, it is both.
Okay, we'll call it Buckingham Parish Church with
Yeah,
capital
Buckingham
letters.
Parish Church.
Okay.
The other thing, just a general point, we've got, this is past events, and yet we've got the times of the Halloween disco party and the winter fair. Now, if it's past events, why do we need to put that it was from 2 to 4 or whatever?
Good point.
Yes, good point.
Get rid of those.
Ryan, you would say something?
For the Bardic collection, I definitely would put in a congratulations to Sammy, who
Oh, yeah.
took the Bardic.
Well, thanks.
Trophy.
There is an article elsewhere as we've just discussed.
I think we've kept that really short because there's an article elsewhere, but there's no reason why we couldn't add a sentence that just
Yeah,
says
I think
congratulations to Sammy.
And also, thank you to Paul. I think Paul was also a very good Bardic contender.
That could go in the article. We wouldn't put it in here.
No.
But then
Because we've got space in the article to put it in. But yes, I think it mentioned Paul in the article. Yeah, yeah.
maybe something about the evening itself. It was a good evening, a great evening with lots of music and literary talent, which invigorated Buckingham.
Yes, maybe.
Do you want to write an article for us next time around?
I got back from Scotland that day. But maybe say C page, blah, 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 blah. In that, for an article.
We could say see page and then we'll have the more detailed article on the end.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've still got another couple of things.
Go on.
Under the street entertainment, line 2, performers were,
Oh, yeah, got performance
Not
where,
where.
yeah, okay.
and line 3, children's entertainers. Now, where are we? Oh yeah, you don't want a capital C for children. It looks as though it's a new
Oh, yeah,
sentence,
that's
but
what
it
you
isn't.
mean. Yeah, yeah.
Children, so lowercase children's. And then line 5, Buckinghamshire councils, I think you
Apostrophe.
need a capital C for council and an apostrophe S. You've got Buckinghamshire Council is the title, isn't it? With a capital
Yeah,
C.
it is, yeah.
That's it for that appendix.
Okay, great, good. Any other comments on that particular section? Okay, moving on then to a great photographs, by the way. I see there's 2 pictures of Robin in this edition. Okay, where are we? Future events then. This is what I just want to say, to make the point, we've got to get this out in time for the 27th of November.
So it will have started being delivered by the 27th of November, but not everyone will have got it by the 27th of November.
Okay.
But the Christmas light switch one is mentioned in the current edition.
It is. That's fine, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It is in that really difficult.
I know,
Mm.
I know. Okay, any other comments on the future events? Margaret?
Community fair, line 3. It's got refreshments will even be provided by the Buckingham WI. Is that just to get rid of even, I think?
I think get rid of even, yes.
Pancake race, line 3. Just seemed a bit strange. Small prizes will be given to all participants of the children's races and a small trophy for the winners. A small trophy for the adult winners, is it? Or what does that mean?
I think the winners of all the different categories get a small trophy, don't they?
Oh, right.
But
Yes,
for
I
the
can-
children's races, everyone who has a go gets something.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think I see that now. I can see that now.
So
Sorry.
to be clearer. Small prizes.
And then, like I said, we have times for some of the past events, and there's some of these future events we haven't got times
I
for.
was about to say Christmas break,
So-
no starting time, so.
One of the Christmas light switch on.
Yeah.
Are the times on the back? But
They
it
will
might
be on
make
the
sense
back.
to put the times in here as well.
The times will be on the back, yeah.
But should we put the times in here too?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Well, if we go back to the pancake race, we mentioned Buckingham Parish Church, but here it's got St Paul's Church. So
I think call it
what
Buckingham
one will,
Parish Church.
we'll find out what they are and one or the other then.
Yeah, be consistent, I agree.
I don't have a big red pen, by the way.
Okay, all right. Moving on then. So that's future events. Right, shop mobility. Go on.
Sorry. The food fair, it says get in touch with Amanda. I'm not going to put a telephone number in there because not everybody has
Okay, put in Amanda's number then as well. Obviously, yes.
surfing techniques.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, moving on then to some pages. Shop mobility.
Yeah. Again, line 1, shop mobility is open Tuesdays and Saturdays. Should there be an on Tuesdays and Saturdays?
Open Tuesdays and Saturdays. I don't know.
You don't think it's necessary?
Shop mobility
Sounded-
open Tuesdays and Saturdays. I think it's
Sounded a
okay.
bit
It's given,
sort
isn't
of-
it?
Okay.
I think it's okay.
You think it's okay,
I
then
think
that's
it's reasonable.
fine. And it should be anyone who rather than anyone that. Anyone who needs help.
I think actually it should be anyone that,
Okay.
because it's not a name. If it was like open to Margaret who,
Right.
anyone is not a who, it's a
Okay.
name.
It's the Battle of the Titans.
I beg your pardon.
Battle of the Titans.
If you think it's okay, then I'm comfortable with that, but it just sounded strange to me. Anyway.
It feels more friendly to put in who, but I think actually, strictly speaking, it has to be.
Anyone has.
we ensure
have a
that,
feel,
yeah.
okay.
Anything else? No, Margaret?
Well, yeah.
You're changing your mind now.
No, I'm not changing my mind. I had put in here, it says in line 2, a new hire. It's got, is this I'm just looking for.
If you are a first-time hirer, we do require photo ID
On your
project
first visit. So would it, you've got first twice, that's all. If you were a new hirer, we do require photo ID on your first visit.
Yeah, change first time.
Yeah, that would be better, would be better, true.
I didn't know I was being too picky, Perry thought, eh?
No, we appreciate your pickiness, Margaret, always. I am in awe of your attention to detail, trust me. I really am. Any other things? Okay, moving on, nice pictures, by the way, to go with that.
Hmm.
The Buckingham County Wildlife Project.
I've spotted something.
Oh, Bourne Park Bridge repairs.
Oh, hang on, Chair.
Yeah, sorry, go on, Ryan.
Under the chair of former Mayoress Ruth Buell.
Ah, yeah. Oh, this is the wildlife
It
project, isn't it?
was, yeah, all right.
She was never the mayoress, she's never been
Mayor,
mayoress.
I got that down as well, didn't Mayor, it's just Mayor.
But also, yeah, it's nice. No, that's me complete.
Point 2 should have a Publix with an apostrophe S. Paragraph 2, last line. Green spaces. Now we've had this before. The last word in the second paragraph, green spaces. It's not one word, is it?
No,
No, it should be two.
should be 2 words.
Okay.
Am I right?
Go on.
So, am I right in saying it's Buckinghamshire Thames?
No, it's Tame.
Oh, Thames.
Tame is correct. Yeah.
That's,
Where's this, sorry?
just, you would expect Thames Valley.
Yeah, but it is Tame. There's a River Tame, and it's the River Tame, not the River Thames,
Oh,
that this is related to. But I think a lot of people will think it's incorrect.
Well, that's
It's a
because in
little confusing
Oxford,
as well, yeah.
the River Tame and the River Isis converge
Yeah,
and become the River Thamesis, which is shortened to Thames.
Thames.
right.
Oh.
Just, sorry, I've just lost my agenda here. Are you still on the?
Wildlife project, yes, we are.
Yes, that web, that link, which didn't take me to a new page, which is why I lost my agenda, took me to, have you tried it?
The Buckingham Railway Walk, which
Oh,
one?
does it not
Yeah.
work then?
It takes me to some.
It didn't work for me in the office, so I asked Nina about it and she's gonna try and find
Okay,
a separate link.
yeah, it takes you some
Okay, so I think
chess,
he's correcting that.
Yeah.
login hub or something. Now I've got to find my agenda.
And then I found conservation, I've got to find where I mean. Now, paragraph 2, I've got the green spaces. The following conservation groups are. The following groups, I think, might be, I suppose that's being unreasonable, isn't it, to delete conservation in that heading. The following groups, because we've got the canal, we've got the Buckingham Society in that, haven't we?
Well, we should say members of the network include, is what it ought to say, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because we're talking about the County Wildlife Project, it's a long-running network of local conservation groups, so the
Yeah.
network members include, ...
Yeah, that would be better, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then Railway Walk, line 3, it's got group hosts.
Group hosts should be hosts.
Should be, yeah,
Group hosts regular work parties.
because group is singular.
Yeah.
And line 4, now I thought the group hosts regular work parties on the first Saturday of every month, 10 a.m, University Car Park. Or would it be nicer to put nicer? We meet at 10 a.m. at the University Car Park.
We don't, use the word we,
Okay,
because it's written in third person.
You could say they.
they meet at 10 a.m. at.
Yeah.
It just seemed rather, it's almost like it's notes rather than a proper sentence.
You've got a space between 10 and AM.
Yeah, that needs fixing too.
And then the Canal Society, bullet point 3, line 1, Publix, it's should be apostrophe C, a public
Yeah.
apostrophe S. And the wording
Well,
generally.
actually, no, it should be public education and leave out the S altogether.
Oh, public education, yes.
I'd say to promote public education in the history and use of canals. So leave out the and the S.
You see, but if you read the whole lot out, it doesn't read quite right. To promote I agree with you, to promote public education, not the public education in the history and use of the canals and waterways of Buckingham Canal in particular. And that's not right, is it?
Well, yeah, you could leave out the true. Use of canals and waterways.
You could just say within Buckingham.
But it's got of Buckingham Canal in particular.
And instead of,
Yes.
right, public education of the history.
And use of canals and waterways.
Okay, how about to promote public education about the history and use of canals and waterways, including Buckingham Canal in particular?
Or especially
Or it's,
Buckingham Canal.
Including Buckingham's.
no, it's Buckingham Canal.
Yeah,
Okay.
but just didn't seem to read quite right.
Yeah, I'm sure that between all of that editing, Bethany could sort that out.
Sorry.
Okay, are we all happy with the rest of it?
Mhm.
Okay, it's a good range of things. I love all this, actually. I mean, I'm not involved in any of the groups directly, but I just think it's great. There are all these groups happening in the town, all designed to just keep the town looking wonderful. And here's another picture of you, Margaret, and Robin. Yeah.
We have some more pictures as well.
That's 3 pictures of Robin
That's
actually in
as
this.
well as on the handout, John, there's some more.
What, Robin?
From the Buckingham Society.
Okay, fine, okay, good. So that's 3 pictures of Robin in this. I think that's very.
Yeah, haven't we got it in our brief, say no more than 2?
Not specifically in our standardised one.
He's got no style. Sorry,
Right, okay, moving on. Adult learning, are we okay with this? Obviously, this is a kind of piece that's been put in by adult learning, that we all support adult learning, of course.
So again, this is the same as last time with the changes that were requested.
That's a lovely, it looks as though she's made an absolutely beautiful, well, yeah,
It's made from glass, is it?
yeah.
So, very good. Excellent. So the last one is just wonderful. Okay, happy with that?
Mhm.
Okay, and then finally the events diary. Well, we have the usual debate about, yes, but exactly what time is the switch on? That's what we want to know. You know, when are all the speeches over, we just come with the switch on, because I've got 2-year-olds with a cream. Yeah. Okay, are we happy with that? Okay,
Sorry, John,
go on.
we did say include another picture from the calendar competition, so did you,
Oh, to choose one,
yeah,
okay. Have we advertised the calendar in,
so it's, Emma's told me that it's being finalised now, that's why you have all of
no,
those.
but in the newsletter, are we advertising the calendar? The, you know, picture from the calendar, you can buy copies of the calendar from the old jail, blah, 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 blah.
We'll have a little bit in front, but we could make some space for it somewhere else.
I think we should have some of the mayor's bit as well, maybe. We did last time, didn't we?
I don't think we did it in that section last time,
Did
but
we?
we did have a half page or a third page somewhere else, so.
Or
We
on
can
the
make
back
space.
page with the events calendar.
And what about the Christmas cards?
That is a good point.
Yes.
Yes, we could include that too, actually. We could. Maybe it would be best with a Christmas card on the back cover.
Yeah.
Because the winter one, the snow one, then itself being Christmas card.
The Christmas card competition is for schools, but we're just looking for a sponsor still at the moment.
Oh, right, okay, okay.
Will we have it in time?
We should have it in time. The deadline we've given.
Well, we have to, because we've got to sell the things. haven't we?
Yeah, we've got to get it to print and have
Yeah.
it in the shops by middle of November is the plan, so so we should have it in time to include it. Let's make some space somewhere else, because we're still waiting on a few articles, that means that.
Yeah, the article, the solar panels went to a whole page, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we can just make some space on that page.
Mm.
So we do Christmas cards and the calendar.
Okay.
Okay, so which picture shall we use for the back?
No, I think Louise was just saying the Christmas card.
We could use one of the Christmas cards in this for the back.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, good idea. Okay. Will we have it in time?
We should do.
Right, okay, moving on then, it's a review. These letters just being distributed. Is it all for that, for everybody?
Yes, so we had our copies back in the office. We're waiting for, so we're going to get tracking reports with these ones. We don't have a tracking report yet, but they said we'd have it soon.
Okay, and is it uploaded to the website as well?
Yes. Well, I couldn't find it about 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock or something this morning.
He's on there. I did that. No.
Okay, double check.
It definitely wasn't there, no. Well, unless there's a separate newsletter tab now, which I like. At least I think that, I don't think it's been there before, and it wasn't.
That's for the email newsletter, as opposed to the paper newsletter.
Ah,
You've already admitted your incompetence in the online areas.
Okay,
They hit my doorstep as well.
Perfect.
Okay.
Chosen credit.
right, okay, it's gone up very effectively then.
well, yes, because I found the previous audio one from Countess Howe, but it showed, so I must have been in the right bit of the website, I think. And it didn't show the current one at all either.
Where would you look to start with?
Well, I've got this, look, 2021, spring, summer, autumn. Autumn, it's not there. Maybe not.
On the publication page.
Don't really wanna-
I would say check it,
I'm just gonna.
go and have a good look.
Yeah, it's not
Thank you,
there.
Margaret.
Sometimes you might have the old version there, you might need to refresh it.
No, it's not there, I've just gone into.
No,
Oh, it's not
yeah,
there.
maybe just accidentally didn't hit save. Yeah.
It's
Sorry about
entirely
that.
And the audio version, who's doing that again, I've forgotten.
It was wrong.
Oh, you done it? Oh, great.
That was quite interesting having to reset everything every 5 minutes where I stumbled over myself. And you know, you can't exactly include the expletives.
Oh, right.
So,
Well, you could make it a more interesting list.
I think I've been hauled over the coals.
It's like Taskmasters, they went out with the children's version.
Yeah.
They always complaining about the lack of swear words for some odd
Do
reason.
you not have audio editing software then, but do you not clean it up before,
I just sort of reset it and then went over it again.
put more body and sort of bass into his voice and make?
Has Martin recorded one yet, by the way?
Yes.
Did you do that, Martin?
Okay, thank you for doing that, right?
No
There's a minute that, thanks if you would, so it's Ryan for doing it. And have we agreed who's doing the next one?
Yes, we did, didn't we?
I think we did it. Who said anything to
Another council, wasn't
It
it?
was another councillor, and we were going to ask
Sue?
Sue Hetherington, yes, I'm still getting it, she said she's agreed it, she emailed me back, she's agreed it, so once we have it, she'll come in and record it.
Just hope I don't sound like that.
I'm just looking for the. Yeah, Councillor Hetherington recorded the audio version, yes. We agreed that the last time. Okay. Yeah, and if we can promote that digital copy, that would be good. On our social media. Any other issues about the current newsletter you want to raise? I think we're getting it down to a pretty fine art. I think we're happy with the colours and the layout and so on.
Oh, one thing I noticed, and I'm sorry if we agreed it and I've missed it somehow, but until the last two editions, we've had that logo on there, thoroughly modern traditional Buckingham, and that's no longer on there.
I think we should have, because that project's finished.
Oh, it's finished. Okay, that's fine. I just
It's got a
noticed
history
it.
now, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. It wasn't that I particularly wanted it to be on there, but I wanted to check that we'd agreed it wouldn't be on.
Okay.
So,
No, I think when the last thing with that funding went up,
okay, fine. No worries.
Okay, right, sorry, Louise.
no, I don't.
Oh, right, okay, sorry. Okay, so ongoing development of existing websites. This is where we just discussed if there's anything that needs to be changed. The current website, there's anything with the Discover Buckingham website. I haven't been on it recently, I have to say. I don't have any comments. Anybody else got any comments?
I did have a quick look and it looked all right.
Yeah, it's looking fine.
And I
Okay.
do think the main town council one, I do find it easier than I used to finding things. So I think it is
That's good.
generally going as far as I'm being particularly not good at these things.
That's a good compliment then, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, with regards to the schedule, something changed at the meeting that wasn't that, I just lost it all again there. Where's it gone? But we're changing the schedule of the revamp, is that right? Or the
Yeah, so when I last brought a report to this committee, I said that we would actually at the previous meeting be able to decide who was going to do the new website. We had to change all of that because we decided we needed to know who our IT tender was going to before we decided who was going to run the website. Because our IT and our website communicate with each other quite a lot. So who we chose and what system they were using did impact on how the website was going to work. So the website contract is going to go out today for companies, and then in order to try and keep to the schedule, it's going to go to resources to make the decision. So that's
okay.
8th of November.
So this is us noting that basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. Any other comments? No? Okay, moving on then. Right, a summary posters of events report. Okay. So what are we saying is that we're saying that once a year at the beginning of the summer, we will put out big signage costing about 400 quid around the town to let people know what's happening, particularly in the summer events.
I did like to see them in town. It was good. You could sort of stop and go through them.
Yeah. So for that 400 quid, I think we can get signs that go up in the summer, signs that go up in the autumn, a few non-PVC banners, which are useful for location work, and then some smaller things like weatherproof stickers, because I am conscious of not wanting to create plastic waste. So while this is a move away from these laminated stuff that's really just doesn't last very well, I want to try and reuse as much as we can. So hopefully we'll start making banners that we can bring out and reuse, but that are bright and colourful and eye-catching, and give people the information that they need. Because we know that not everyone gets all the information they need off the internet, because not everyone uses the internet or thinks to look there for information. Posters can be really useful.
Okay, are we agree on that?
Could I make a suggestion that we get some pre-made labels that say event cancelled? Because you know the sort of line spacing. Just in case, for instance, the Oxford Fiddle Group, which I don't think, somebody could go out and just put a sticker that we already have over it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
If we know in advance, obviously.
Like
Which we
brand
do.
publications didn't happen, did it?
Yeah.
I don't know, would that be,
If we think we're going to have another summer like we did last summer, then yes, that could be a useful thing to have.
Yeah, I think it doesn't have to be a big order, but there's some stickers that we can use.
yeah, because we don't want to reprint, but
No, of course
we could sort of keep it fair.
not. Okay,
And can we make sure they get taken down again as well? There's still some summer.
Are there still some summer ones up? Okay.
so we debated this the other night, didn't we? Yeah.
You not swap the summer one with the autumn one?
That was the plan, but I think it didn't quite happen that way.
You mean,
There
we
is
put the
an
autumn
autumn,
one up and then kept the summer one still there.
there's an autumn one quite close to a summer one still in Shanders Park. There are two in Shanders Park actually, although one of the two has had somebody else has put something obliterating park near the other bridge. They're the two bridges in Shanders Park, they're both just quite close.
We should keep track of these.
I beg your pardon?
We should keep track of these and recycle where we can as well.
Yes, yeah, we have been thinking about where we could potentially reuse them, because we were thinking about maybe we could stick, one suggestion was today that we could stick the notices of parking bay closures, we could stick them on the plastic to reuse them that way.
We should have like a bus timetable type enclosure on the fields in the middle of town. Yeah, that would be a permanent sort of.
It would be, that's
Yeah,
something
we
we're thinking about, but I'm not sure we can do that to lampposts, can we?
No. Ooh. Anything seems to be up for game these days.
True.
It would look nicer than just a thin cable tie or somehow strapped to it, wouldn't it?
The 400 quid won't cover that though, will it? That would be a big budget to do that.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
I can look into how much it would cost.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, if it means that we can just use paper and we create a structure which can be reused, that's better for the environment
All sorts of things.
and everything else, isn't it? Yeah.
And less damage on it.
Well, it basically is creating another series of sub-municipals, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Sort of single poster notice boards, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I do like these. I think they're good. They're quite.
Yeah, no, I do.
They are.
I do as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think removing the QR code as well, I think.
I just wasn't convinced that many people use them, but people definitely take photos of them to remind themselves and look back at the photo later. So if we just rearrange them so that it suits having photo taken,
Yeah, yeah.
then that works.
Have you thought about having two designs so that, you know, sort of, you see it from both sides rather than,
Two together like that.
well, it goes around the post and then maybe you cable
a
tie it
tube.
so that it, not a tube, no, sort of, more like a wing, where it's, you get,
Yes.
you close it at one end, you get a round hole in the middle, so it sort of curves over, stays in place.
I could certainly look at it.
Only so that you see it from the other direction as well, then.
Yeah, I think I didn't want to print too many. So if you were
Agreed.
doing that, it's twice the size.
That would be twice as many, yes.
But that's not necessarily a negative. If we think that we could have less locations but have them double-sided, and that would work better. So
Yeah,
And where they were going, because some of them
Don't need it.
don't, well, if you're walking on a foot, they're usually against by a footpath, and
I wonder if it's worth us making a specific list of the specific places we want them to go, and then working out whether there's some places where it would be worth.
I thought you
them
had
to-
that, sorry, that's all.
Well, we can, but it's a little bit loose, which is how it's happened that some of the old ones haven't got picked up. So they go on all the playgrounds. And I think you'd only need one side for the playgrounds, and then the remaining go around the town centre.
well, especially if the bath is there and the post is there and there's grass here, you don't want on that side because you're not going to be walking around.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's if it goes there, but if it's in the playground, you've got the railings, you then put it, maybe you don't want two of them because you look at it from inside the playground and from the path.
Yeah.
Okay, I should we refer this back to Louise to explore the.
We've got plenty of time till the next one.
That was just an evolving thing, really. I just thought they were great anyway, like Margaret. We could move a little bit further now. We think they're great.
No, this is good. I like tweaking things. We will make it perfect next time.
All the time after.
Onwards and upwards, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Second recommendation is this pull-out calendar. I'm not in favour of this. No. Two reasons. One is, I think if the Town Centre Events Committee thinks this is a good idea, they can pay for it out of their budget. And secondly, I just think we already do that. It's on the back of each newsletter. I'm not sure. And given how many things do change in the course of a year, things do, sometimes dates get moved or things get added or indeed postponed or whatever. I'm just not persuaded of the value of this, because I don't think people would pull it out, and people are not obsessive enough to then put it on their notice board. I think it would just be extra paper for no great value, is my view. Sorry.
And they could, if they could tear it off, couldn't
They want
they?
to.
Enough, if that's what they want to do. I think I'm inclined to agree. Don't know where it came from. Was it where the idea came from?
It was Paul's idea.
Oh, was it? Sorry.
Okay, sorry, Paul, you're watching. I don't think it's worth doing, but argue the case if you think.
I think it could be useful. I think it's something where you don't really know until you've tried it. I know that's 400. It's whether you think £400 is worth spending on finding out if that's something that people would use or not. It's a reasonably large amount of our budget.
So we're talking about a single page, or
So it would be the idea is it would be a single page, probably folded in half. So just slipped inside, it wouldn't be.
printed on one side?
Not placed inside, if I could say that. It says not placed inside.
No, so there was two options.
Oh,
Yeah, so one was that that it would be inserted inside and that's the cheaper option, by the printing company. And the other option is that it could have been just put through the door completely separately. But that's considerably more expensive.
And we'll probably just get thrown away.
if anything, I would want it the middle pages of the newsletter, so you could actually, sort of put it out from that.
That would be a better use of.
It wouldn't cost us anything extra to do that.
No.
We just have to.
But then we wouldn't want it on the back as well, would we? I don't think we.
There's too much going on, isn't there?
Yeah.
I agree.
Sorry, we're not persuaded.
No, we're not.
Okay, right. So we're not agreeing with that recommendation.
Okay.
Bring it to project.
Um,
Okay. All right.
Keep the suggestions coming.
Yes. We've got to have some decisions here, contrary to what yours tell us to do, haven't we? Just to prove that we're still having some impact. Okay, so accessibility statement. I like this. This looks very good, very excellent. Is the idea that this would actually itself go on the website as well?
So it's already on the website, but the committee hasn't reviewed it, so it's come on here. I did actually notice that it needs a slight change.
Okay.
So under how accessible this website, it says full agenda packs for committee meetings are not currently accessible to screen readers. Most of them now are, so that needs updating. There are occasional agenda packs where they aren't. And that's mostly because we've been given something that we need to include in an agenda pack, and the format that we've been given it is not accessible, and we can't make it accessible. And that's just, sometimes that's just how it is, unfortunately. If someone sends us a handwritten letter, we can't, but that's fairly rare, so that's maybe me focus, but that occasionally happens.
Okay, all right. Good to know that we're making some progress on that. Because there was a moment at one point where the agendas were coming out as sort of JPEGs or pictures and you couldn't highlight text, but we got over that now. So
No, we've come quite a long way from there, which is good.
okay, agreed with everybody?
All good stuff, yeah.
Well, yeah, can I just check though, because it does, towards the end, it says archived agenda pack PDFs are not fully accessible, but they will be made fully accessible before September 2020.
No, they don't have to be, so that needs changing as well. So the older documents before September 2018 don't need to be, my understanding of it anyway, is that we don't need to make them accessible, and we just can't because we don't have
The software.
well, we don't have the source material in a
yeah,
digital format in order to
Yeah.
make them accessible,
No.
so we can't do it.
So that just needs amending slightly.
So that needs amending a little bit.
And it also says the website was last tested in July 2019.
So we were going to do annual tests, but essentially I've decided that instead we're going for the new website. When we have the new website, I'm looking for a different accessibility functionality. I'm looking for something more like a widget that sits on top of the page that works out what accessibility tools you're already using and then automatically applies them for you, as opposed to having to go in and turn them on.
Wow.
Because that's available now, and it wasn't available when we were first changing the website over. So I'm aware it might seem like not that long ago since we had the website rebuilt, but it needs it for other reasons, and it was a really good opportunity to add that in now, because it'll be much better than what we've got now for people who actually do use these accessibility tools. It'll be a lot easier for them.
It's good to know. Okay, so thanks for spotting that, Margaret. So we need to just change some of those dates and also some of the text.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be making archived agenda packs.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but future ones always will be, apart from the exceptions that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, agreed? Okay, then we've got a communications policy. What's the function? Is this a new policy altogether? Louise?
A new policy altogether. Essentially, sort of about a year ago, as you know, I changed how we worked on our social media, and at the same time was working on how we deal with other parts of our communications. And now that we're sort of more or less back to normal in terms of delivering council services, it's all being wrapped up into one policy.
Okay, so we don't have another policy with the word communications in the title.
Not specifically.
When I read this, I thought, I think I need more time to absorb this.
Okay.
I mean, we could just say, yeah, fine, it's okay. But then, I mean, then I thought, well, looking at the objectives, they're not really outcome objectives. To reach as many residents as possible with key messages is a process objective, really, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I think to ensure that the residents and people of the town are aware of what the council is doing for them, that feels more like an outcome. You see the difference I'm making?
Yes, I do.
And again, produce good quality content is a process objective, it's not an outcome. This is where I got to thinking, I want to have a look at this in more detail.
No, I totally see what you mean. I would say that it is really a document that's about what we as officers are doing, and then having it as a policy is about councillors being able to know what we're doing and why we're doing it. But changing those objective sections so that the long-term consequences are clearer does make sense.
I'm not saying reject it, I'm just saying,
No.
can we have another look at it?
I'm happy to go away and
Maybe you and I just have a sit down, or let me go away and have a look at it.
Yeah.
And come back to you with some thoughts.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
And anybody else who wants to?
Well, unless Louise wants to pitch a little bit now, so we can get a more of an insight if we've got time, or
So I don't mean to be negative or to deflate you. I apologise if I've done that.
no, I think that when I wrote this, I was thinking about it from an officer point of view, and I wasn't thinking about it from your point of view. So I'm perfectly happy to just go away, think about it, come up with something that's worded a bit more clearly from a council point of view, and then bring it back. It's probably easier than me. I would rather do that than say, well, let's just agree this if it doesn't quite make sense.
Those terms, hero hub and hygiene, those are normal terms, are they? Because I've never come across that before.
They're just the ones that we use because of the way sort of restructure things.
I've not had it before, but I get, it makes sense, it's a triage type approach.
So a lot of this content I've already sent to committee already, but in different formats. So it just brings it together into one place.
No, I absolutely appreciate the effort to collate and organise and make it more sensible for you to work with, absolutely. I guess as a councillor, I'm interested in what impact our communication is having upon the town.
Yes.
That's what I'm interested in.
I think there's also sometimes questions. We're a pretty small committee. It's not, obviously not all the councillors on this committee, and they're not necessarily clear on what we're doing, what we're aiming at doing. And this is hopefully something that makes it clear to everybody.
Those are the brightest councillors and officers on this committee.
So if it's not clear, then I would rather go away and make it clear than defend it and try and put it through in this form. If that's what you want.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
In which case, it needs something at the beginning to say
Yeah.
where it's coming from, where it's going,
Yeah,
what it's
purpose, what's the
Yeah,
purpose of
yeah,
our
exactly,
communications
yeah.
policy?
Yeah.
And then from that, then comes the.
Because I thought that
objective.
this was just going to sort of slot in with all of our understanding, all the typey things. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's, can each of us go away and do some thinking about this? And then me and Louise will have a chat.
I will say I won't be at the next meeting, but I'll still send it anyway.
Okay,
Probably.
well, I think it's not, we're not in a rush for this, are we? I mean, there's no need to have this. We can take our time on
No,
this.
this is a nice idea, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the structure's there, you're using the structure to help you think about what you're doing anyway, and that's fine. We just need to kind of think about what we want from this. Yeah. Okay, all right. So we'll refer
You've
that
got
back.
a new website coming online as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got that to do. Okay, right, so that's the last of the appendices, I think, isn't it?
You've got one more.
Oh, we got one more. Oh, yes. Meeting dates, obviously, take note, please.
Just to add, I have moved back end of July one to earlier than it would normally be. Hopefully people can make it.
I'll need to double check that. Are these new dates, are these different dates to what we had before?
We hadn't sent out dates for CSG yet because
Oh, I see, right.
we knew
okay.
we might change them because obviously
I
the
will
last
put
2
those in my
years
diary.
we've shifted because of the election and there won't be an election.
No. Okay, and I did have a note from Councillor Hetherington saying she'd love to be here, but she's got a actually regular appointment. I said, you're always welcome to the thoughts, you know, everyone gets the event, everyone gets the agenda. If you've got any ideas for future editions or comments on the articles, please do so. You're welcome to be a remote, as it were, member of the committee. And that obviously applies to all the councillors and all the officers. Okay, press releases, again, this is just to note this, isn't it? We don't have any action, but just to, are we putting more press releases out now than what we used to, do you think?
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got to help the local newspaper have some coffee.
Have we
It's
got
struggle
the-
otherwise.
Have we got a style guide for press releases?
So the same style guide will apply when that's the top of my to-do list.
Oh, I see. I was going to say will or does.
It will. We have a separate style guide. We have other separate things to do how we style press releases, and including quotes and how they're laid out.
Yeah, okay.
So there are separate rules already in place.
So the next meeting then is the 24th of November, just checking, I've got it in the diary. Yes, I have, yes, 2 o'clock, yep. Chairs items, I don't have any chairs items, I don't think, as far as I'm aware, do I? No. Okay, great, well, that's good. And the efficient meeting, we're all over within just over the hour. Wow. Thank you, Bethany, thank you, Louise, thank you, everybody, for coming along. Enjoy the sunshine. And go and see the solar panels at Lace Hill.
Be blinded with the reflection.
Well, They tend to reflect.
Turn off the screen.
Because we've had solar panels for a long while, but we were told you couldn't get them to
We're still
This
live.
Well, when I installed mine, are we stopped, hang on,
No,
stop
not
again.
yet.
No, it's still live.
We can stop being live now. Bye everyone, thank you for watching, very much appreciated.